Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time is definitely a ridiculous one and crazy one. It involves an ex of mine, and any story time that involves an ex is usually a pretty good one in my opinion. So if you enjoy this, leave a like on the video, and let's just jump into this. So today's story time all takes place back in 2016. Now, 2016, I was still a teenager. I was still technically supposed to be in high school. I wasn't though, because I quit, but you know what I mean. I was still technically that age of being a high schooler, and all my friends were still in high school. And at the time, I was in a relationship, and the person I was dating, she went to the same high school as me. And the thing is, I didn't know her that well. I had been talking to her for about 2 weeks. We started dating. I was a week into a relationship with this girl, finally getting to know her a little bit more. And I swear, this has to be the most short-lived relationship I've ever been in, because literally a week into being together, she goes a little crazy and shit hits the fan. I'm going to tell you about it right now. So today's story time all starts off as a normal day. Like I said, I was a week into my relationship with this girl. I would say probably more around 3 weeks, because we were talking for the other two and getting to know each other as well. And we were getting pretty close. And I woke up. She was actually at my house. She slept over. And I'm just kind of laying there with her on my phone, just doing a whole lot of nothing, going through YouTube, stuff like that. And she's like, "Hey, good morning." I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "What do you want to do today?" And I was like, "Honestly, I have no idea." And she's like, "How about we go to a park or something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure. I like parks. Parks are romantic. They're cool. They look cool. They got flowers and shit. I'm for it." So me and my girlfriend get up, we shower, we get ready, and we go to this park together to go look at the colorful flowers and shit like that, right? Now, fast forward a few hours later, we end up having a great day. We go to the park, we get some lunch together, we meet up with a friend of ours, we hang out with them for a little bit, we go shopping. It was an all-around amazing day, right? Well, then fast forward to dinner time. Dinner time is where shit really just gets bad. So we go to have dinner together, me and my girlfriend, at this restaurant in the city, and we get there, we walk in, we had a reservation, I made one, all fancy and shit. I sit down with her. Our friend had left, by the way. Our other friend that was with us, they went home after we went shopping. So it was just me and my girlfriend alone having a nice romantic dinner, right? So the waiter comes up to our table, asks us if we want anything to drink. I say, "I'm good with water." She says the same. She walks away, and she takes a sip of her water, and she puts it down on the table, and she goes, "This place is really nice." I was like, "Yeah, I know, right? I didn't know it'd be this nice." And she's like, "Yeah, you had to make a reservation, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And she goes, "Good call on this place. It's beautiful. Thank you so much." I was like, "Yeah, of course." And she's like, "Really, I'm having an awesome time hanging out with you. I'm really glad we met." I'm like, "Hey, me too." Right? And I'm sitting there thinking "Oh, okay, this is nice. I feel good about myself right now." And then all of a sudden her mood just completely changes. She looks at me with a real confused face, and she goes, "Hey, I'm trying to talk to you. Why do you keep looking over there?" And I was like, "Looking over where?" And she goes, "At that table where those girls are." And she points to this table of girls that I honestly didn't even know was sitting there. And I was like, "I'm not looking over there. What do you mean?" And she goes, "Yeah, you are. Your eyes keep wandering." Now listen, I kind of do have a problem with eye contact. I don't really make eye contact very often because I'm very bad at it. It sounds kind of stupid to say that, but since I was a kid, I've just had a really bad time and awkward time with keeping eye contact. I'll look someone in the eyes for 5, maybe 10 seconds, and then I have to look away for a little bit because I just find it to be too awkward for me to do. And I was probably doing that, and she thought that I was staring at somebody else, but that was not the case at all. I was staring into oblivion. So I told her that. I was like, "Hey, no, I just have a weird time with eye contact. I wasn't staring at anybody." And she goes, "Austin, I traced your eyes. They went right to that table." I was like, "I'm sorry, you traced my eyes? What does that even mean? How do you trace my vision of to where I'm staring at? Yeah, you could see where my head's turned, but I was not looking at them at all." And she goes, "Austin, don't lie to me. Let's just keep having a nice dinner, okay?" And I was like, "All right, whatever." And she goes, "Don't say whatever. I don't like the attitude." I'm like, "Okay, fine." So anyway, we go about our dinner, right? 20 minutes later, we're kind of back on track. We're going good. Things aren't awkward anymore. And then once again, she goes, "Austin, why do you keep staring over there?" I was like, I'm not staring anywhere. I'm just awkward, okay? I'm not." And she's like, "No, I don't believe you. If you do it one more time, we're leaving." And when she said that, I just thought to myself, "Oh, no, we're not. You can leave all you want. I'm staying here. The food here looks good as hell. I'm hungry, and I'm eating before we leave." Now, obviously, I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. So anyway, fast forward 5 minutes later, I am keeping a tight lock on my eyes on my girlfriend because I don't care how awkward it is for me to do. I'm not going to take my eyes off her because I don't want her to think I'm staring at some random table of girls, even though I wasn't. I don't want her thinking that. And then, of course, like 5 minutes later, she goes, Austin, I told you what would happen if you did it one more time, and you did it one more time. We're leaving now. I was like, okay, bullshit. I haven't taken my eyes off you this whole time. Like, I did not look over at that table. You are making shit up at this point. Like, I know you're wrong. And she goes, okay, we're going. And she gets up and she grabs her jacket. She goes, coming with? And I go, no. She goes, what do you mean no? And I was like, I'm not going to leave this nice restaurant and ruin this date because you think I'm staring at people that I'm not staring at. And she goes, okay, well, I'm leaving. You can either come with me or not. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm staying here. And she goes, all right, fine. And she grabs her stuff and she walks out of the restaurant very quickly. And I'm left there alone. And my waiter comes back and he's like, where'd your date go? I was like, honestly, man, I don't even want to talk about it. And he goes, hey, man, I respect it. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. I'm like, nah, you're good, man. And he goes, don't worry, free dessert on the house tonight. And I was like, thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot. He goes, no problem. You ready to order? So I order my food. He walks away. And I'm just sitting there alone at this table, right? And I forgot to mention this, but me and her drove there together, and I was the one that drove. I took my mom's car, so me and my girlfriend went there together in my mom's car, and I drove, and I still had the keys, so I don't know how she was getting home. So immediately this pops in my head, and I call her, and she ignores it immediately. So I'm worried at this point, right? Like, even though I got into a fight with my girlfriend, I didn't want her, like, going home on, like, some random city bus or, like, you know, having to ride with some random person or taking a taxi. Like, I don't know. I didn't want that. So I texted her and I was like, hey, how are you getting home? You should come back here so I can at least drive you home. And she goes, don't worry, I got a ride from a friend of mine, but you should see how you're getting home. And she puts a winky face. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? So, of course, I naturally kind of freak out and I jump up out of the seat. I run outside because I knew when she sent that text that she did something to my mom's car. And I walk outside to my mom's windshield smashed. I mean, like, literally smashed. Not cracked. No little crack down the middle or anything. Straight up smashed. Like, glass all over the dashboard, all over the seats. And there's literally a rock on the dashboard. She threw a fucking rock through my mom's windshield because she was mad at me for staring at nothing. So naturally, I call her again. And this time she answers. And she goes, hey, Austin. And I go, did you throw a fucking rock through my mom's windshield? Why? And she's like, maybe you learn to respect me next time. We're done. And she hangs up on me. So I run back inside and I grab the manager of the restaurant and I'm like, hey, somebody just vandalized my car. I know who did it. Do you have security cameras outside? And he goes, yeah, I do actually. And I'm like, can I please have the footage for the police? And he goes, yes, of course. And he goes in the back and he burns it onto a disc for me and gives it to me. And he goes, hey, here you go. I watched the video over. That's fucked up, dude. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He goes, if you need us to talk to the police, we got your back. I'm like, thank you so much, man. Like, this whole restaurant was dope. They were all so helpful. So anyway, I get my food to go. I leave in this broken-ass car. The windshield's shattered. I had to, like, avoid glass while I was driving. I get back to my mom's house. I tell her what happened. I show her the DVD. We both watch it together for the first time. And we watch my girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, shatter her windshield. Just shattered my mom's windshield with a rock. And immediately, I take a video off my phone of this footage and I send it to my ex. And I go, hey, the restaurant caught you on video. So you got two choices. One, I call the cops and you get in trouble for vandalizing, possibly even arrested. Or two, I call the cops and you get in trouble for vandalizing, possibly even arrested. That's the choices. Have a good one. And she immediately calls me. And it was the greatest phone call of my life. I answer this phone and she is literally begging for me to not call the cops. And she's like, Austin, I'll do whatever you want. Like, I'll pay triple for the windshield. And I'm like, triple, huh? Make it 4. I want 4 times the price of this windshield and a written apology to my mom for what you did to her car. And she's like, done. She ended up paying 5 times what the cost of the windshield costed. Technically even more. The windshield was going to cost $400. She gave my mom $2,300 as well as a letter with a written apology. And her parents also wrote an apology as well. And in return, I didn't call the cops and get her ass arrested. Now you're probably wondering, Austin, do you still have that DVD? You still have that video? It's somewhere in the depths of my basement. I can't lie. It's definitely still down there somewhere. I'm not going to put it in this video today because that would break me and hers agreement. But I can't lie. I still have it. And who knows? Maybe one day, maybe you guys might see it. Maybe after this video I'll hit her up and ask if it's okay. We'll see. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much where that story time ends. My mom got a new windshield. She also got some money for what my ex did to her car. And everybody in the end was happy. Except for my ex. She was probably pissed off because she didn't know she was on video when she did that. But yeah, moral of the story is, don't go vandalizing people's shit. Don't rage out on people. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.